Hey guys, what's up? This is Matthew Davis Media once again. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time is going to be on The Invisible Man. Now, this is a reboot of the classic horror movie or horror tale of the same name, you know, like Frankenstein and Dracula and all that. When the Dark Universe started in 2017 with The Mummy, it failed miserably, so they didn't really see a reason to fully do it anymore. So Blumhouse is kind of doing it here. Although, you know, the Dark Universe Universal logo doesn't pop up here anywhere. So let's just forget it's part of that for a second and just talk about the film itself. This movie follows a woman named Cecilia, played by Elisabeth Moss, who runs away from her now ex-boyfriend. And from there, he commits suicide, and everybody thinks he's dead now. But Celia feels that, you know, he is probably still alive as, you know, stuff happens, coincidences happens. Like, you know, there are marks, there are clues as if he is still there. From there, she assumes that he is invisible. So she lives in this house with these two people that she cares very deeply for, a man and his daughter, played by the girl from Wrinkle in Time. And from there, you know, the Invisible Man starts messing with her, and from there, you know, she finds ways as, you know, trying to make sure the people out there know that she is not crazy. Otherwise, you know, this could really ruin her life. Now, I was really looking forward to this film. One thing, I think they had a perfect director from this, Leigh Whannell. I think he's great in terms of horror, both acting and directing, even when he's in a couple of bad horror films. But, you know, all in all, I still think he's great in those. And I love Upgrade. I thought, you know, that was an excellent film. He did a great job directing that film. And so I was really looking forward to seeing what he could do here. And I'm happy to say this is probably his best work yet. This movie was awesome. I love this movie. I don't know what there is more to say. I mean, everybody in this movie is absolutely terrific. Alright, Elisabeth Moss is excellent in this movie. Not only her performance, but I cared about her character. I felt bad for her character. The way she's going through all this, she gets filled to the brim with anxiety as stuff happens that people thought she did, and not just, you know, murder and stuff. I mean, yeah, they think she did some murder, but, you know, you'll watch the movie and understand what I'm talking about. It's actually really easy to understand. And, you know, I just felt bad what she was going through. I mean, she's trying to forget about this guy, but, you know, this guy is still haunting her. Or I wouldn't necessarily say haunting, since it's not really a ghost story. And, you know, there are some sci-fi aspects of the movie that I wasn't fully expecting. But, you know, it kind of reminded me of Upgrade a little bit, which is a movie that Leigh Whannell directed, like I mentioned before. And it does have twists and turns that I wasn't really expecting, but I really loved the twists and turns in this. One thing that this movie relies on a lot, and actually has a really smart take, which is something I wasn't really expecting at all. I was expecting this movie to be good. Like, it could have been just, you know, a dumb, fun horror film, but no. It's actually a smart, fun horror film. One thing is, you know, it has a thing against, you know, toxic relationships. Like, they are scary. Like, they are messed up, alright? And they are not fun at all. And it's something that, you know, has been happening a lot through life. And this one in particular, this toxic relationship that's going on, they're taking it a different way because, you know, this man is invisible, and he was dating her, and, you know, from there, it just gets really messed up. And what happens, you know, he's trying to ruin her life now, and after leaving him, and it just really got under my skin. And there's an aspect that I was not expecting. Like, sometimes this movie can be unpredictable, and I absolutely loved it, and it freaked me out. Now, there are a few jump scares here and there, but for the most part, it's not really the jump scares it's fully focused on. The movie is about 2 hours long, so it's kind of a slow burn. And I will say the second act of the movie does start going a little downhill in terms of pacing, but it manages to go right back up after like 15 minutes of the second act. And there is something that's kind of random, and we don't really get full answer on, especially when the movie ends. But, you know, for the most part, it didn't really entirely bother me, because, you know, this movie was just so well acted, and I was really engaged with its premise, and I was really focused on this one character that I really hoped, you know, got what she wanted. And all in all, I loved practically almost every second of it. All in all, The Invisible Man is a fun, it's a frightening, it's an intelligent roller coaster ride of a horror film. Elisabeth Moss is great in this movie. It manages to creep me out. It's creepy when it needs to be creepy. It's bloody when it needs to be bloody. It's not a flat-out blood fest. I mean, there are some bloody imagery, but it's bloody when it needs to be bloody. It's violent when it needs to be violent. There are some lighthearted moments here and there when it comes to family, especially in the beginning, but between the relationship between, Cecilia and her sister, and of course, this man and his daughter, although we don't really see a full relationship there. But, all in all, I'm so glad this movie was good. I did not expect this movie to be this good, but I loved it. And I saw this movie in IMAX too, and the experience was great. And for the 2-hour runtime, I wasn't bored, and it was really well paced too. And sometimes, people could say this is a slow burn, but Hereditary was a slow burn. I think there's a difference between a boring film and a slow burn. This is a slow burn, but slow burns doesn't equal bad, because it can't just. This is a film that isn't just going to go, straight to the fun parts. No. It has to build up with its story, and it manages to do it very well. This was a great film, and I recommend checking it out. I'm going to give The Invisible Man a 4.5 out of 5. Finally, an awesome horror film to finally come out in 2020. While, yes, I thought The Lodge was great as well. Most people got to see that in 2019, though. This is a true 2020 release, and I am so glad we finally got one. Hopefully, A Quiet Place will be just as good as this. This has saved me from all the crappy horror films I saw so far for the past couple months. And yeah, I gave The Boy an average review, but it does get worse more that I think about it. And I saw that film a week ago, so it's great that a week later I saw a truly great horror film. Thank you guys so much for watching. Before I end the video, I want to give a big thank you to Blaze the Movie Fan. He put me, we did a collab together. We did a review on The Matrix Reloaded. You can check that out on his channel. I'm in it. He asked me if I wanted to be a part of it, and I said sure. And I just had a great time with it. Check him out. He's a really cool guy. He does movie reviews like me. And back when I did shoutouts, I gave him a shout out, and which was like 5 or 6 years ago. So yeah, check out his review in the comments. Not in the comments, the description if you want. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.